Hey guys, this is Bradley Benner with Lead Gadget and the ATM. Today's April 21st, 2016. And we've got a couple questions on the events page. We're going to get started with those. And if you guys have any additional questions, or any of you that are attending this early, just post your questions on the events page. Just remember, that's where the questions go. I'll answer what's available. And if we don't have a lot of questions, then we will wrap it up early. So. All right, I'm going to grab the screen and we're going to get right over into what we have available already. There might be some other guests on today that I invited from one of my semantic mastery classes yesterday, so we might have more questions today. All right, you guys should be seeing my screen. I'm going to come over here and start with Robert's question, and then Michael Dawes. Guys, if you're here and attending, like I said, post questions, because otherwise this will be a really short webinar. All right. Robert says, Bradley, I am just starved for time in my day and am not able to use the ATM as it should be used. I want to outsource some of the site building. In past training, you created some guides to outsource your work. For the ATM, I think I remember you saying this was part of your mastermind, but I'm not sure. Can you direct me to this info? I'm not sure where to begin the process. Thanks. Okay, Robert, that's a great question. Yeah, I've trained 2 VAs to build ATM sites, and now I'm training a team leader. I'm essentially training another virtual assistant that will be managing the builders, so that she can actually locate locate new campaigns to set up, and then do all the front end research, like the keyword research, setting up the spreadsheets that we use to keep track of the projects, and then assigning them to the builders, and then checking the builders' progress, as well as quality, checking the quality of the sites before we send for indexing and that kind of stuff. So I got the 2 builders trained, and they're doing fairly well. They're not 100% up to where I want them to be just yet, but it's a process. So like I said, now what I'm trying to do is train a manager, a team leader, to be able to manage the projects, essentially a project manager, because it still has required a lot of effort and attention, like personal attention from me, to work with the 2 builders, to stay ahead of them, to fix problems or give them guidance and stuff whenever something comes up. And so it's it's a process, but now I'm working on developing out the project manager, so that she can basically run the show, and I don't have to worry about, it'll be almost hands off from me entirely, which would be great. So that said, what I've done was I've created a training site, a membership site, that I use for the builders, that has all the training videos that I put in there about how to do site builds from start to finish, and advanced techniques and all kinds of stuff. But it's very proprietary at this point. In other words, it was the training was created very specifically for my 2 builders that I have working on my projects. And so I've had enough requests, Robert, in the last few weeks from Lead Gadget members asking about getting access to that training. I'm not going to give access to the training that I've developed for my 2 builders. That's just, there's too much sensitive data in there that I'm not going to share. However, I think what I'm going to do, I talked to Brian about this yesterday, is because there's been enough interest in it, and it seems like there's a pretty good demand for it. Once my team leader is up to speed and she's, taking care of taking the load off of me of managing the builders, which is going to be several weeks, because it takes time to groom new virtual assistants. So it's going to be a few weeks, but once she's taken that commitment off of me, or that workload off of me, then I'm going to go back and redo the ATM builder training to make it generic enough to where it will be, it won't be project specific to my own projects, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to put it in a membership site, and probably going to sell access to the membership site, or it's just a training site. I don't think it'll be a monthly payment. I think it'll just be a one-time payment. But I think that's what I'm going to do, because there's been enough of a demand for it. And again, I'm not going to share internal training videos, but I can create a whole separate, what I would call an outsourcer training portal. So it would be basically training that I would set up that would be very specifically used for you guys to be able to hire virtual assistants and put them through the training, and they'll be able to build the sites for you. Okay. So just know that that's probably coming. Don't hold me to it 100%, guys, because I'm, things can happen. But I think my intention is going to be to, after I get my project manager handling all that stuff for me, then I'll probably spend some time focusing on, trying to develop that product out for you guys to be able to use if you want it. Some of you don't, are doing the building yourself. That's fine. But somebody like you, Robert, that wants to scale, or even those of you that are building by yourselves and want to scale, it would make sense to be able to start hiring virtual assistants to build alongside you. You know what I mean? And I think what you'll find is once you start generating, having sites built for you and they start generating you enough money, why the hell would you want to build them anyways when you can get somebody else to do it for you, as long as you're making positive ROI? What difference does it make, right? So give me several weeks. You can remind me, or check the status every week or two if you'd like during these webinars, but I can tell you it's going to be several weeks before I can get that put together. I would say, 4 to 6 weeks, because it's going to take me another 2 or 3 weeks of working with the project manager to get her to where she's able to take the load off me completely. It's going to take some time. It always does. But once I'm done with that, I could probably get that training site together, polish it up, make it nice, and then share that with you guys so that anybody that's interested in it. There will be a price because it takes a lot of time to put these together. I've spent 7 or 8 weeks now with my builders. And over the last 7 or 8 weeks, I've created a shit ton of training videos for them that are all on the training site. But again, they're very specific to the projects we're working on. So I need to go back and re-record everything, but do it in a way that's more generalized, right? So just know that that's coming, Robert. Stick around. Try to learn what you can in the meantime, or, figure it out on your own and go hire, try to start training virtual assistants on your own. It does take time, guys. I mean, I manage over 25 virtual assistants now, and it takes a lot of time. Even with, like, if you try to do it by trial and error on your own, it's going to take you an enormous amount of time. It's okay because it's worth it, in my opinion. But the best thing to do, if you can, is to have a training and everything all ready to go before you hire the virtual assistant. And that way, when you get them, they can become efficient faster with less overall time commitment on your part to train them, if that makes sense. So that's probably what I'm going to do. And I'll keep you guys posted as of the progress with that. Okay. Michael Dawes. Hey, Michael, you say, hi, Bradley. Your comments about hyperlocal builds last week left me a little confused. Excuse me. I get that the feeder idea wasn't worth it, but would you recommend the custom list structure of your builds now or not? Your idea back then was to cover 200 keywords with one build. How would you organize your custom list differently today? All right. Well, Michael, I'm just not doing local sites right now. Okay. All I'm doing is national builds because I've got 2 builders building for me all the time. And so I've just got them doing a bunch of ring partner sites and some affiliate stuff that I've got them working on. But, it's not that I wouldn't do it again. It's just that I haven't been building local sites. So, and there wasn't enough. I only did a couple of tests and they didn't perform very well, but they were both in the same industry, the tree service industry. And I found that the lead gadget sites, the sites built with the ATM, just in that tree service industry aren't, they just don't perform very well. It's one of the niches or industries that I can't get the sites to do very well. Okay. And I only did 2 tests. One was a feeder site test and the other one was well, I probably did a couple more, but they were all tree service sites nonetheless. Anyways, my point is I didn't do enough testing to be able to determine whether it was a valid practice or not. Okay. It requires more testing. So my question to you, Michael, is what's stopping you from just testing? Right. I mean, if you're curious as to how it would work and if it would work, then I don't know what industry you're in. And honestly, my suggestion is that you test it yourself. Set up some sites. It only takes you a few minutes. Guys, don't be afraid to test with the ATM. It's not going to blow up. Okay. It's not going to hurt you. If you set up some tests, go try to deploy the sites. If there's something wrong with your build, the site won't build, or it'll build and you'll have to bomb it because the content will be screwed up or whatever, but no big deal. So you figure out what's wrong, fix it, and do it again. And do it again until you get it right. And once you got it right, try to duplicate the test several times. I'm just telling you, I haven't done enough to be able to say one way or the other. I'm not going to tell you guys or lead you guys to believe that works really well when I don't know. I know that Kerry Duke, he tried a couple of site builds right using that same method right after I had talked about it on a webinar. This was many months ago now. And he had some really good success. He even posted in the Facebook group about it. Said that it was like using that method was one of the quickest ways he got commissions that he had ever used. So I don't know. It probably does work really well, but I don't have enough proof to be able to say whether to recommend it yet. Let's put it that way. All right. But you say your idea was to cover 200 keywords with one build. How would you organize your custom list differently today? I don't know that I would organize them any differently. I just haven't tested it enough. Again, that's the thing, Michael. I mean, don't wait for me to do it because there's a good chance I'll never get to this again. Or if I do, it will be down the road. I've got too many other projects I'm working on right now to start setting up test sites that aren't going to benefit me directly. Okay. But if you have time, I would recommend that you play with different custom list types. All right. Would you be using a keyword custom list in your title? Sure, you could. You could. When you do this, I get a great long diverse list of post titles, but when I add some tags, I always get duplicates. I'm not sure why you would get duplicates, Michael. If you're doing tags the proper way, you shouldn't be getting any duplicates, because that's why you put the custom list short code with locations, the custom list location short code at the end of every single tag. And then you can't get duplicates. There's no way to get duplicates, right? So if you've got, let's just use this. I think you guys are seeing my full screen. Yeah, you are. It's probably small on your end, but it's so well. Just try to envision what I'm saying. Let's say this is your city short code. Okay. Oh, I see. I think I see what you're saying. If you're doing a custom list code with keywords and then you add tags because I'm just thinking for a second. Hold on a minute. Because you're doing multiple. I'm trying to think about this. I could see where you might have some duplicate tag issues, but if you use a proper custom list short code for location information, it might not be city, but you could use something like zip codes. If you're targeting 200 keywords in one, let's say one county, and you're doing a site build around one county and it's got, 33 cities, or I don't know, that sounds like an awful lot, but let's say 15 cities in one county. Then I would probably add a zip code list, custom list to that. And then I would use the zip code as part of the tags or something like that, or even a combination of city plus zip as the tag. So it would be like tag 1 zip and then tag 2 zip or something like that. And I might even switch it up and add something like where I would put, let me show you what I mean. I might even do something like this. That way the tag would have the city name in it too. I'll put this in a notepad file so it's easier to see. I would do something like that. And then I would just, this would be my tags, I mean. Otherwise, there must be another space in there. Yeah, it would be something like that. Those would be my tags. So they would end up looking like this, right? When you add them. Just like that, right? That way it would add the tag, but then it would add the city and the zip at the end, which would make it unique, because the city might be might be duplicated if you have some of the same tags in there. But that's the thing. If each tag is unique and you've got it set up properly, then it shouldn't matter. because every single tag would be unique anyways, right? If each tag is unique and then it's got the city and the zip code or just the zip code, I'd try to get the city name in there. I don't know if that's what you're asking, Michael, but I'm hoping that that was what you were asking. As long as you're adding a custom list short code to the end of the tags, guys, and you think about it when you're setting up your tags, you got to think about what custom list short code could I put at the end of the tag that's going to make it unique on every single post, right? That's all you got to do is just think about it. I've just avoided using tags. Do we need tags? And of course you don't need tags, but yes, tags are powerful. In fact, a lot of the times you'll end up seeing the tag pages end up ranking above the posts themselves. In part, part of the reason why I started testing that whole thing that you're asking about here, Michael, is because I wanted to see if I could get the posts to rank better than the tag pages, because I've been noticing that a lot of the times the traffic is really coming in from tag pages, and I thought that was a little bit odd when compared to traditional SEO. Okay, but I know these sites are like, they just follow different rules or whatever. They're in like a whole different category, which I've said many times before. But based on traditional SEO, tag pages usually don't rank very well. In fact, a lot of the times you should keep your tag pages set to no index on regular sites. But for these types of sites, tags absolutely rank, and they rank well. And so I found that a lot of traffic comes from them. So I wanted to see if I could force the sites to perform, like the posts to actually rank better than the tag pages, by creating these custom lists that I was talking about, using where I was targeting like 200 keywords per site instead of one main keyword per site, right? And then using the tags to target supporting keywords. I was trying to target all supporting keywords with post titles instead. And so yeah, tags are absolutely can you please are absolutely powerful. Can you please outline what model builds for this purpose would look like today? What your model builds for this purpose would look like today? I would do the same thing that I mentioned already, Michael, and just do what I did before, but I would test it across more niches, other industries. Okay. All I did was test it in one. That's not enough to make a determination as to whether it's successful or not. It just wasn't successful in that particular niche. It seems to me the traditional approach would be to do a radius custom list and focus on only 1 or 2 keywords in the title and content, then use tags to cover another 100 keywords. No, that's a bit too much. 100 keywords. You'd be talking about 100 tags then. You don't want to do that. I don't know what you're talking about for that, but this gives me lots of tags and too few posts. It doesn't matter though. It really doesn't matter, because your tag pages can be indexed, right? And if you're going to be using the WP overlayer, like you should be anyways, because the bare ATM sites just don't convert well. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever your offer is, I found they just convert very poorly. So I just set up a nice landing page and use the overlay. The overlay will lay on top of tag pages too. So nobody will even see the tag page, right? All they're going to see is your overlay. So it doesn't matter whether it's too few posts or not. Who cares? As long as you've got tag pages that are ranking for your keywords, what difference does it make? Okay. This hyperlocal neighborhood type market requires the addition of typically 20 neighborhoods for each town or city. So please discuss the design options you feel are best applied to this kind of focus list. Again, I don't know, Michael. If you've got 20 neighborhoods for each town and city, then you would be using probably the neighborhood name and your location stuff. But I was using a keyword custom list, really, right? And I'd have to go back and actually find. Like, I could show you examples. I'd have to, let me pause the screen for a minute and see if I can find, I'm just going to look very quickly. If I can't find it very quickly, I'm going to move on, but I'm going to see if I can find a copy of one of the custom list codes I did for one of those test sites for the tree service industry. I'm looking, so bear with me. Yeah, I found one. And this one performed really poorly too. So, all right, let me grab the screen again and I'll show you what I did. All right. All right, so this is one of the custom list codes that one of the custom lists that I had set up for testing a regional tree site, tree service site for the Northern Virginia area. Actually, this is for more like, yeah, this is more for Central Virginia area. Anyways, you can see that I had the city name. So here's the tree service city is that short code. This is the tree service county, tree service city state short. And then here's the keyword list. So this was the keyword list. So my point is I did city, county, and city state short, and then keywords. But you could switch these up to make it work any way that you need to. Like if you're going to use a keyword list, you'll have a keyword list, but then you still have 3 other short codes that you could use. You're probably going to want the city name as one of them. You're probably going to want, in your case, Michael, you're talking about using neighborhoods. Well, you could have a list of neighborhoods, right? You could also have a list of zip codes if you wanted. These are just the ones that I chose. But again, Michael, you can just test, man. Just set up, try different configurations, man. If you're the type that likes to figure this stuff out and you want to know, which it sounds like you do, then you're just going to have to do the testing on your own. You know, I can't do it for you. I don't mind, sharing what I did, but like I said, I did only a few tests and they were all in the tree service industry. So I should have broadened it out a bit. And I may at some point down the road. I just don't have the time to do it right now. So I would like to see if it works though. So if you end up testing and you find out that you were pretty damn successful with it, just share. We'll share with your results regardless. So I know it'd be nice to know. So anyways, hopefully that was helpful. Let's see. All right. Well, guys, let me refresh the page, but if there's no other questions, I'm going to wrap it up. Is there anybody on? Okay, we got, doesn't look like any other questions are coming in. All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day then. Next week, we will be back again. I'll give you some progress updates if we have any, if I can get to work on setting up if there's enough demand, let's put it that way. If there's enough demand for me to set up an outsourced or training portal site, guys, it will be paid. I'm not giving it away for free. It requires way too much of my time to put together. But if there's enough demand for it, I'll put it together, and I might try to get it done sooner than later. So guys, just let me know what you think if you're interested, and that way I can kind of judge the interest level from you guys. All right, and I'll see what I can do to get that done sooner than later if there's enough interest. So I appreciate everybody being here. I will see you guys next Thursday. If you have any questions, post them on the events page when I get it posted. It will be you'll be notified inside of the Gadget Facebook group when the event has been created, and you can click on the link to bring you over to the Google Plus event page where you can post your questions. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.